Participants were divided into 4 groups. One group took both a daily multivitamin and a cocoa extract supplement. One group took a multivitamin and a placebo cocoa supplement. One group took cocoa extract and a placebo multivitamin, and one group took both placebos. This design allowed the researchers to isolate the effects of each supplement independently and to see whether taking both together produced any different result than taking either one alone. The results were clear. Participants who took a daily multivitamin showed a modestly slower rate of increase in some of the epigenetic aging markers compared to the group taking the placebo multivitamin. Their biological aging, as measured by these clocks, appeared to slow down. The cocoa extract, by contrast, showed no meaningful effect on any of the epigenetic clocks in this study. That is a notable finding in itself because cocoa extract has shown promise in other areas of age-related health research. But in this specific measurement of biological aging, it did not produce a detectable effect. One more important note on the data quality. Adherence to the daily supplement protocol in this study was approximately 92%. That means the vast majority of participants were consistently taking their assigned supplement throughout the 2-year period. The results are therefore reflecting what happens with regular, consistent supplementation rather than occasional or inconsistent use. This matters because the effect size observed is modest and inconsistent. Use would likely produce weaker results still. Now here is the buried finding that most coverage of this study has missed, and it is arguably the most important detail in the entire paper. When researchers analyzed the data more closely, they found that the effect of the multivitamin on slowing epigenetic aging was significantly stronger in participants who showed signs of accelerated biological aging at the beginning of the study. In other words, the people whose bodies were already aging faster than they should have been got the most benefit from the daily multivitamin. People who were aging at a relatively normal or slow rate showed a smaller effect. This makes biological sense, and it points to a specific mechanism. One of the main reasons a multivitamin would affect epigenetic aging is by correcting nutritional deficiencies. Many of the vitamins and minerals in a standard multivitamin are required for the biological processes that maintain DNA integrity, support cellular repair, regulate inflammation, and preserve the accuracy of gene expression. When these nutrients are deficient, those processes become less efficient, and biological aging accelerates. Correcting the deficiency restores the process. So the people who were most deficient, and therefore aging fastest, had the most room to benefit. This is directly relevant to understanding who is most likely to be deficient in the first place. As people age, the body's ability to absorb certain nutrients from food declines. Vitamin B12 absorption decreases significantly after age 50 because it requires a protein produced by the stomach lining that diminishes with age. Vitamin D synthesis through sun exposure becomes less efficient. Appetite often decreases with age, reducing total food intake and therefore total nutrient intake. Busy schedules, health conditions that affect digestion or appetite, and changing food preferences all contribute to the reality that many adults, particularly older adults, are not getting optimal amounts of key nutrients through diet alone, even when they're trying to eat well. A multivitamin is not a substitute for a good diet, and the researchers were clear about this. The study was not an argument for replacing food with supplements. Food provides fiber, water, enzymes, and thousands of compounds beyond the vitamins and minerals that appear on a supplement label, many of which interact with each other in ways that supplements cannot replicate. The finding is that a daily multivitamin, as a complement to a reasonable diet and other healthy habits, may offer a modest but real and measurable benefit to the rate of biological aging, particularly in people who are not already getting everything they need from food alone. If you are considering starting a multivitamin, the practical guidance from dietitians reviewing this research is straightforward. Look for a product that covers the nutrients most commonly deficient in your demographic. Vitamin D, vitamin B12, magnesium, and zinc are among the most frequently insufficient in adults over 50. Check the label for doses at or near 100% of the recommended daily value for most nutrients, rather than megadose formulas, which are unnecessary for general nutritional insurance and can cause problems with certain fat-soluble vitamins at very high levels. Choose a brand that uses third-party testing for purity and potency, which means an independent laboratory has verified that the product contains what the label says and is free from heavy metals and contaminants. And choose a form you will actually take consistently, whether that is a capsule, a tablet, or a gummy, because a supplement that sits in a cabinet is not doing anything. The most important conversation to have before starting any supplement is with a doctor or registered dietitian who can look at your specific health history, any medications you take, and ideally your blood work to identify where your actual gaps are. Some supplements interact with medications in ways that matter clinically, and personalization based on actual lab values is always more precise than a general recommendation. The broader point the researchers are making is actually the least glamorous version of aging well that exists. Good sleep, regular movement, a reasonably balanced diet, and for many adults, a daily multivitamin to fill the gaps that an imperfect diet inevitably leaves. No expensive protocols required. If this is the kind of content that actually helps you make better decisions about your health, the subscribe button is right below this video. Every week there is more of